Hey everyone, it's Melissa Marshall, and I don't know if you've noticed, but real estate's been in the news a little bit. I, for one, think these headlines are a little bit biased, so I'm popping on here so that I can explain to you what's going on with the NAR settlement agreement and how it will affect you as potential buyers and sellers, and me as a realtor um, in the future. So, really, officially starting in July. So, let me explain. Currently, whenever a listing agent puts a house on the market and they put it on the MLS, there is a identified percentage of what the seller, if they do choose to pay, how much of a percent they pay in commission. That is going away. It will not be there at all.
So, what does this mean? For buyers, this means that before you even go and tour a home, you will be sitting down with your agent and completing a form, kind of like the buyer broker agreement that we already use. So, as a buyer, what this will look like for you is that you will be sitting down with your agent and completing something like the buyer brokerage agreement. And if you've purchased a home before, it's very possible that you've already filled out something like this when you purchase that home. What the buyer brokerage agreement allows you to do is to sit down with your agent, communicate how you're going to work together. There's buyer responsibilities as well as agent responsibilities. This will talk about the commission and how your agent gets paid. It also identifies the agent's duties as well as the buyer's duties throughout the transaction. So what happens if you're worried about being able to pay your agent? Let's say you're a first-time home buyer. You've got this down payment that you've been saving to put down on a house, and a lot of times there's not a lot of extra money to pay for the agent who's working with you. And so what happens a lot of times, and what I see happening with this, is that sellers will be offering concessions. This is something that's not uncommon at all. There are seller concessions all of the time. So instead of that commission being offered up on the MLS, instead a seller might opt to offer a buyer concession. And so this will be something that is paid at closing, and that payment can go towards closing costs, and that includes paying for the buyer's agent. Sellers do not have to pay for the buyer's commission. They've never had to pay for a buyer's commission. Sellers may opt to pay for that commission so that they're not eliminating any possible buyers for their property. There's about 50% of buyers in the next 12 months that are going to be first-time home buyers. Some of those may struggle with coming up with that extra payment for their agent. And so offering a concession as a seller might bring them more possible buyers. My job and my passion is education, and so I want to make sure that you completely understand everything about buying and selling a home and what these new rules and regulations are going to look like for you as a buyer or a seller. Even if you're just curious, you have questions about anything that's happening in real estate, just ask. I'm always available to answer your questions.